I just want to say rest in power and peace to the woman that brought you here, to the woman who built this company literally from her hands, against the odds, despite it all. Rest in power to the woman who created this beauty of a life for herself, who gave function to the people she loves through purposeful work. Rest in power and peace to the beautiful woman who sacrificed and worked and betted on herself, even when circumstances gave the appearance of there being nothing there. Rest in power and peace to this woman who brought you here today, to the woman who has made something out of nothing, to the woman who has created and inspired trends, who was the first of her time, to the woman who set off an entire generation of businesses modeled after her own, to the woman who tore down barriers and set records and has built something that's going to last for a really long time. I just want to say thank you to her, and I want to tell her that it's okay to go, because we're different now, you're different now, things have changed, you have changed, and the stakes, although similar, they have changed. They really have. And I want you to say thank you to her too. Tell her to rest in peace, rest in power. Tell her that you are so proud of her for what she has accomplished and become. To be a spiritual woman, founder of a product-based brand today is not any small feat. It's not something that should just be expected of you. Because what was expected of you, to be honest, if we were to look at what you've gone through, was not this. This was not what your life was supposed to look like according to statistics or what you've gone through. So the fact that you're even here, so for the fact that you've even made it this far, is not just a miracle, because I feel like saying it's a miracle takes away from the grit and the discipline that you've put into this thing. But it is magnificent. It is a crazy thing. It is something that needs to be honored and reverenced and needs to be understood, because as you partake on this journey of realignment, it's death. You're putting to death the woman who brought you here. And that is not something that should be taken lightly at all. When it comes to Black women especially, across the diaspora, grief is something that I feel like has been stolen from us. To me, it feels like the only acceptable time to grieve is when someone dies, but only the someone being maybe your mother, your father, or sister. But if it was a childhood friend or even someone you dated in the past, it just kind of gets brushed over. I know that in a lot of Native and older cultures, grief and death is something that was reverenced and honored. But in today, I mean, how many days off do you get off to grieve? Not much, if you can even afford to. And so when I walk with women through their journey, their realignment journey, their death and rebirth journey, I make sure to honor the woman that they were, because I know in so many other places of life, there is no honor in their grief. There is no space for their grief. It's expected to just go through all these continuous death and rebirth and transformations, which benefits the collective, it benefits the family, it benefits the community, right? But then you're sitting here, how many years into this company, this business, this life that you've built, and you realize that you're grieving. You're grieving the woman that you never even got to really experience because she was so stuck in the grind and the grit and the hustle of it all. When you're a spiritually gifted woman founder, you go through several death and rebirths. And I'm sure that you know that you don't really get the recognition. You don't get seen or held through that. It's just a natural part of your life. Like, you know, I know I'm spiritual, I know I'm called by God, I know I'm gifted. This is just part of it. But I want us to pause in this video. To consider this video a pause. An inhale and an exhale. And my way of giving reverence to the woman who brought you here, for both of us. And like I said, thank you. Rest in power and in peace. Thank you for where you brought you to. Thank you for giving so much into this vision, thanklessly at times. Thank you for betting on yourself, for giving so much of your life to this. And I just wanted to pause and recognize that it really is time to let her go. It's time. I know that anyone who comes across this channel, across my work, I know it's time for them to step into a higher level of leadership. Because I already know that the business that they started, although they may have started it for several reasons, I know deep down that you know that this business was not started just for the traditional reasons. This is your legacy. This is the seat of your matriarchal position in your family line. This is your contribution to the collective. This is literally step one of the incredible impact that you're going to have within your house of brands and your empire as a whole. This is just one piece. So I know that when you come across my channel, you're not just coming here to learn how to have better brand strategy. You're coming here to step into the quality, into the standard of leadership that is required for you to materialize this vision on earth. And so I created this video, like I said, to pause and to just give us breath and give name to what this is and what it requires. This is literally death that we're talking about. When I say it's time to level up, it's time to increase our embodiment, what I'm saying is time to die. Not in a physical sense, of course, but what I'm saying is that the woman that brought you here, her time has come. It's time for her to be laid to rest. So as much as you're dying, you're being born. And there's a lot of grief in both of those things. I remember there's this doula I follow on TikTok. If I can remember her name, I'll link her down below. But she has been talking about how childbirth is an ego death for women. You are not the same after you give birth, and you're not the same when you die. For both people, whether the person who's dead and the person who's still alive, is not the same. And that can register as a trauma in your nervous system. Grief is a very serious thing. And I know it's so easy to just run and rampant and just keep going and going and going, but it's also important to honor yourself too. And so if you've been feeling like you've been hitting a wall, like your creativity's gone, you may be grieving all the versions of yourself that have brought you here that you've never given even a thought to. Grief can look like depression, guilt, nostalgia, exhaustion and lethargy, chronic pain, heightened senses and emotions, loss of creativity, aimlessness, and losing passion for your work. I know for me, grief looks like depression for me. And it also looks like my loss of creativity. I remember, I'm saying remember like it's a long time ago, but this year has been one of the hardest years of my life, but also one of the biggest death and rebirth cycles I've ever gone through. And so I remember at the beginning of August, I just couldn't shake like this sadness I had. I couldn't shake this depression that I had. And I didn't understand it. And so I was just kind of doing everything I would have done to help me get over depression. But it just wasn't working because I've gotten better at not kind of falling into that cycle of sadness, depression, everything. But this I just couldn't shake. And so I just started searching myself, trying to figure out like, what is going on? Why do I feel this way? And I realized there's a little flicker of grief that I didn't realize was there. And it just I just fell after I realized that, everything just kind of fell undone. Like, I just finally understood, like, oh, I'm grieving. I was like, well, what am I grieving? And over the past month, I've just spent pretty much every single day just kind of remembering, like, I have gone through a lot to get to where I am. And I have put my entire life into this person that I am and this business that I have and everything that I've built for myself. And I mean, I'm talking about going through homelessness, abuse, traveling across the country by faith, a lot of things that I've done, a lot of things that I've given up for me, for my business, for my future, for my bloodline. And I just realized I never give her credence. I never honor her. And so, like, I'm rushing to get into this next stage of life to finally move into the home that I've been wanting to move into for this whole time. I'm trying to, like, push past everything and have everything look like how I want it. And I realized that past version of me was just asking me to just slow down and just say, hey, can you see me? I think the greatest thing that we can do for ourselves and our past versions of ourselves is to say that I see you. Because for a lot of us, especially when you're a Black woman, you're not really seen. You're not ever really given credence to, you're not acknowledged in a way that shows the depth of your soul. But you know her. And so I had to take some time and just recognize, like, oh, I'm grieving because she's dying, because I'm changing into somebody else. She got me to everything I wanted, like everything I ever wanted. She did for me, and I'm standing here because of her. Every single thing that you have right now, the version of you who built that did that for you. And she deserves that credence, and she deserves that honor and that reverence, that respect. Like, put respect on her name. Like, she did this for you. She did that. Look at the life that you've built, everything that you've been able to accomplish up until now. You did that. And if no one's going to celebrate it, why not you? If no one's going to recognize that for her, why not you? Don't fall victim to allowing your ambition to rush you out of your grief. Because in this in-between space, that liminal space, that is where the new reality solidifies and sets in. And I know you're probably like me. I'm so sick of being told, like, oh, you're just in a liminal space. Yeah, aren't we all? But at the same time, I just think our culture hasn't given, a lot of cultures, I would say, modern culture hasn't given much respect to death. And we always think of death as something physical, but it's also spiritual, it's metaphysical, it's our emotions. You know, our bodies, cells regenerate to something completely new every 7 years. Like, we're always dying and growing. There's always something dying in us to make room for something to be born. And I think that one of the markers of alignment is honor. Honor of yourself, honor of God, and honor of people on a general level. So this is your sign to take that pause and to honor her, because she did this for you and she brought you here, and she deserves that kind of respect. And through this grief, and as you allow this grief to pass through you and you allow yourself to grieve and honor her, your nervous system begins to stabilize in this new reality. Because for the spiritual women founders of product-based brands who work with me, they're taking risks, they're changing things up in their entire company so that they can finally bet on the vision that God has given them from the beginning, before they felt pressure to conform or to dilute themselves. That takes a lot of guts. That takes a lot of nervous system regulation. That takes a lot of coherence between your heart and your mind. So in this grieving, you allow the dust to settle and to solidify and to harden and to stabilize and to integrate. I want you to honor her, the past version of you, the way you honor God, the way you would honor your ancestors, the way you would honor Barack Obama, maybe, for being the first Black president, the way we honor, like, important political figures. Honor her, see her, love her, release her, and rest in her honor, and let her rest in the power that the powerhouse woman that she is or was. Speak out what she has done for you. Write it down. Let it be known. Say her name. And I know you have the same name, right? But say her name. I did that. Say it, acknowledge it, celebrate it. Buy yourself a cake, buy yourself flowers, get a new candle, memorialize what this is, because I know for a lot of you, you've gotten to a point where you can't continue on the path that you're on because you know that you've been called for something way bigger than what you've settled for. And that's the whole point of why you found me, realignment. Say her name, honor her, don't forget her, honor her. She literally died so you can have the life that you have now. And I know with Jesus, we're so quick to honor him, as we should, but we can't forget her either. Honor her. And so with that, again, thank you to the woman that brought you here. And I'm so excited for the woman that you are becoming. I'm so excited for the woman that you are and evolving into, that your previous self has afforded you the privilege and opportunity to be. I am Naomi Olatayo. I am the brand priestess. I'm a brand strategist, and I work with spiritual women founders of product-based companies with visions and ideas that are ahead of their time. I work with them to build. I'm an architect in the spirit. I work. I have a service called the Aligned Partnership, where I walk with women as their partner and co-creator and co-visionary through the natural changes that come with that come with walking in alignment for the first time after already building. I also have something called a vision articulation session for the women founders who have not yet started but have this idea that's floating around in their head and it's a little bit incoherent right now. I help give language to it so that you can articulate it and walk forward in power through execution. If that's interesting to you, then click the link down below. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.